Welcome back to our channel. Today let's dive into the incredible story of Eleanor Powell, the legendary Queen of Tap. Known for her dazzling footwork, electrifying energy, and groundbreaking performances, Powell was a beacon of talent in Hollywood's golden age. From her meteoric rise on Broadway to her unforgettable duets with legends like Fred Astaire, she captured hearts and defined an era. But beyond the glitz and glamour of the silver screen, Eleanor's life was one of resilience, personal challenges, and reinvention. Join us as we delve into the extraordinary highs and poignant lows of her life, uncovering the triumphs, struggles, and the tragic end of this unforgettable star. Eleanor Torrey Powell was born on November 21, 1912, in the charming city of Springfield, Massachusetts, to her proud parents, Clarence Gardner Powell and Blanche Torrey. From an early age, Eleanor seemed to possess a natural rhythm that set her apart from other children. Her love for movement and music was unmistakable, and it wasn't long before this little girl began turning heads. Eleanor's journey to stardom wasn't without challenges, but she had the unwavering support of her family. Her parents, though initially hesitant about the unpredictability of an entertainment career, quickly became her biggest champions. Clarence, her father, often accompanied her to auditions and was known to proudly tell friends, "Eleanor was born to dance." Meanwhile, her mother Blanche played a crucial role in keeping her grounded, reminding her to remain humble despite her early success. Balancing school and dance rehearsals wasn't easy for Eleanor, especially in an era when societal expectations for young women leaned more toward traditional roles. During this era, societal norms often expected young women to prioritize family life over personal ambitions. Despite this, Eleanor's family encouraged her to follow her dreams, a rarity for the time. Yet her determination and her family's encouragement allowed her to thrive, setting the stage for a career that would define an era. By the time she was 11, Eleanor's extraordinary talent caught the attention of Gus Edwards, the legendary head of the Vaudeville Kitty Revue. For Edwards, who had discovered and nurtured countless stars, spotting talent was second nature. Yet even he was said to have been astonished by the sheer brilliance and raw potential of young Eleanor. She wasn't just a good dancer, she was electric, mesmerizing audiences with her effortless grace and precision. News of her discovery spread quickly, creating a buzz in local newspapers and entertainment circles. Parents brought their children to watch her perform, hoping to capture even a fraction of her magic. Fans, captivated by this young prodigy, would cheer her on with an enthusiasm usually reserved for seasoned performers. "That girl is going places," they'd say, and they weren't wrong. Eleanor's stage presence at such a young age left audiences in awe, and her name began to circulate in conversations among dance instructors, talent scouts, and theater producers. For Eleanor, however, the spotlight wasn't just an opportunity, it was a calling. She wasn't performing for fame, but for the joy and freedom that dance brought her. This pure passion, combined with an undeniable talent, set the foundation for a career that would eventually define an era. Her rise was only the beginning, but even as a child, she had already begun to win over the hearts of both critics and fans alike. At just 17 years old, Eleanor Powell stepped onto the Broadway stage, bringing with her a graceful yet athletic style of dance that audiences had never seen before. She quickly became a standout performer, earning leading roles in hit productions such as Follow Through, 1929, Fine and Dandy, 1930, and At Home Abroad, 1935. Her performances exuded not only technical precision, but also an electric energy that left theatergoers mesmerized. During her run in Follow Through, 1929, Eleanor Powell quickly established herself as the heart of the production. Audiences were so captivated by her dynamic presence that they often erupted into applause before she even finished her routines. One critic from the New York Times famously described her as a meteor across the Broadway stage, graceful, untouchable, and unforgettable. Her performances didn't just dazzle the audience, they also inspired her fellow cast members. Many remarked that Powell's boundless energy was contagious, elevating the entire show and creating an atmosphere of excitement both on and off the stage. Theatergoers would leave the venue buzzing about her talent, and ticket sales surged as words spread about the young dancer who was redefining Broadway. Fans often described her as unstoppable with an energy that seemed to light up the entire stage. Critics hailed her as a revolutionary force in the world of dance, someone whose innovation would shape the art form for years to come. It wasn't long before the media took notice of this rising star. Major newspapers like the New York Times lauded her performances, and it was during this time she earned the nickname the world's greatest female tap dancer. Audiences flooded theaters, eager to witness this young prodigy whose talent seemed almost otherworldly. Letters from fans poured in, praising her artistry and asking for her next appearance. For a 17-year-old, Eleanor was already commanding a level of attention most performers could only dream of. By the early 1930s, Eleanor's ambitions began to extend beyond Broadway. She tested the waters of the film industry, taking on small roles as a chorus girl in a couple of minor musical films. Though these early roles didn't make headlines, they hinted at her potential to shine on the silver screen. Fans who had followed her Broadway career were eager to see how her magnetic presence would translate to film, and media outlets began speculating about her future in Hollywood. In 1935, Eleanor made the daring leap to Hollywood, appearing in her first major film, George White's 1935 Scandals. While the experience wasn't what she had hoped for, she famously referred to it as a disaster due to an ill-suited Egyptian-inspired makeup, audiences couldn't ignore her talent. The press noted that, despite the missteps in her presentation, Eleanor's dance number was a clear standout in the film. Fans wrote letters expressing their admiration, with many saying they had gone to see the film solely to watch her perform. Soon after, MGM, the powerhouse studio of the era, recognized Eleanor's potential and approached her with a contract offer. Initially, she hesitated, unsure if Hollywood could truly understand or appreciate her artistry. In a bold move, Eleanor set high salary demands, assuming the studio would decline. To her surprise, MGM agreed, marking the beginning of one of the most iconic partnerships in film history. Her first starring role came in Broadway Melody of 1936, and it was nothing short of groundbreaking. The film showcased her unmatched talent and solidified her status as a bona fide star. The media dubbed her a savior of MGM, as the film's success helped the studio recover financially during a difficult period. Fans flocked to theaters, raving about her charisma, energy, and jaw-dropping routines. Letters of admiration filled MGM's inbox, and critics called her the dancer who could save Hollywood musicals. Throughout the glittering 1930s, Eleanor Powell dominated Hollywood as a beacon of talent, sharing the screen with some of the most renowned leading men of the era, including James Stewart, Fred Astaire, and Robert Taylor. These partnerships weren't just casting choices, they were events that audiences eagerly anticipated, knowing Powell's energy and elegance would elevate every scene. Her standout performances in films such as Born to Dance, 1936, Rosalie, 1937, and Broadway Melody of 1940 weren't merely celebrated. They became cultural touchstones. Critics marveled at her unmatched athleticism and precise tap routines, with reviews frequently calling her a trailblazer who redefined what dance could mean on the big screen. Fans flocked to theaters in droves, many returning multiple times just to witness Powell's brilliance. Letters poured into MGM's offices, with admirers expressing awe and gratitude for the joy her performances brought them during a turbulent decade. Watching Eleanor Powell dance feels like a dream come to life, one fan famously wrote, summing up the public sentiment of the time. What truly set Powell apart was her ability to turn each dance into an unforgettable moment. Her routines weren't just displays of technical skill, they told stories, exuded emotions, and made audiences feel like they were part of something extraordinary. Her solo tap numbers, often performed with breathtaking speed and precision, were described by critics as lightning in a bottle. The media praised her as Hollywood's unshakable tap queen, and her name became synonymous with innovation in dance. However, it was her partnership with Fred Astaire in Broadway Melody of 1940 that solidified her legendary status. Together, they delivered a duet to Cole Porter's Begin the Beguine that has been hailed as one of the greatest tap sequences in cinematic history. Fred Astaire, one of Hollywood's most celebrated dancers, often spoke highly of Eleanor Powell, calling her one of the very few who could match me, step for step. Their partnership in Broadway Melody of 1940 was a meeting of two legendary talents, and their preparation for the iconic Begin the Beguine sequence reflected their shared commitment to excellence. Rehearsals reportedly lasted weeks. Powell and Astaire worked tirelessly to perfect every detail, pushing each other to new heights. Both were perfectionists, and their dynamic rehearsals became a blend of collaboration and friendly rivalry, as each strove to push the other to greater heights. The result was a tap sequence so intricate, synchronized, and harmonious that even Astaire later admitted it was among the finest work of his career. It wasn't just a performance, it was history in the making. What set Powell apart was her fearless athleticism and unmatched precision, qualities that complemented Astaire's refined elegance. Unlike many of his previous dance partners, Powell brought a boldness to their routines, performing steps that required extraordinary strength and stamina. Critics noted that their pairing felt like a celebration of equals, two giants of dance each elevating the other's performance. Fans flocked to theaters to witness their chemistry, with one reviewer describing the duo as poetry in motion, a perfect balance of grace and power. Watching Powell and Astaire in perfect synchrony felt like witnessing pure magic unfold. Their chemistry, precision, and ability to bring Porter's music to life left audiences in awe. Moviegoers applauded in theaters, something rarely seen at the time, and entertainment headlines couldn't stop raving. A masterpiece of movement and music, proclaimed one newspaper, while another dubbed them the unbeatable duo. For fans, this performance was nothing short of iconic. Theaters reported sold-out showings as word spread about the scene's brilliance. Fans couldn't get enough of Powell's radiant energy and effortless ability to hold her own alongside a legend like Astaire. Some even wrote to MGM asking for more collaborations between the two, insisting that their dance sequences deserved entire films of their own. After years of thrilling audiences with her dazzling performances, Eleanor Powell faced a significant turning point in the early 1940s. A gallstone operation sidelined her career for months, and by the time she returned, Hollywood had begun shifting its focus to younger stars and changing trends. Despite this, Powell continued to captivate in roles that showcased her extraordinary talent. By the mid-1940s, Hollywood was undergoing a transformation. The rise of younger stars, the shift toward dramatic and romantic films, and the declining popularity of big-budget musicals created a challenging environment for performers like Eleanor Powell. As fewer opportunities came her way, Powell faced the difficult reality of stepping back from the limelight. Yet, she refused to view this as the end of her story. While stepping away from Hollywood was bittersweet, Powell found new joy in connecting with audiences on a more personal level through her live performances. Instead, she embraced it as an opportunity to evolve. In interviews, she often remarked, "Every challenge is just a new dance routine to learn," a testament to her resilience and an optimistic outlook. Reinvention became the key to her next chapter. Drawing on her unparalleled talent and charisma, Powell transitioned to live performances in nightclubs. The intimate settings offered a stark contrast to the grandeur of Hollywood sound stages, but they also allowed her to connect with audiences in a deeply personal way. Fans, thrilled to see her perform once again, packed venues night after night. Reviews described her nightclub acts as electrifying, noting that her signature athleticism and precision remained as captivating as ever. For Powell, these performances weren't just a nostalgic return, they were a reinvention that showcased her enduring artistry and adaptability. Her transformation extended beyond the stage. Powell also found solace and purpose in her spiritual journey, becoming a minister of the Unity Church. She saw this role as a way to inspire others, offering messages of hope and resilience that echoed her own life philosophy. This shift surprised many who associated her solely with dance, but it resonated with fans who admired her strength and authenticity. Powell's reinvention wasn't just about reclaiming the spotlight. It was about finding new ways to inspire and connect with the world. In Lady Be Good, 1941, she delivered a jaw-dropping performance of George Gershwin's fascinating rhythm, earning widespread acclaim. Critics raved about her ability to inject new life into every routine, while fans flooded theaters to witness what many described as a masterclass in tap dance. Similarly, her inventive performance in Ship Ahoy, 1942, became a standout moment as she ingeniously tapped out a Morse code message during a dance sequence. The scene was celebrated as an example of Powell's ability to combine artistry with storytelling, leaving audiences in awe. However, the shifting tides of Hollywood meant fewer opportunities for Powell, despite her undeniable talent. When she parted ways with MGM in 1943, it marked the end of an era. Fans were heartbroken to see her leave the studio that had been her home for so many years, with letters pouring into fan magazines lamenting the absence of Hollywood's tap dancing queen. Newspapers speculated about her next moves, with headlines questioning whether this was truly the end of her illustrious career. In the midst of this professional transition, Powell chose to embrace a new chapter in her personal life. That same year, she married actor Glenn Ford, one of Hollywood's rising stars, and in 1944 they welcomed their son, Peter Ford. Fans who had followed her career with devotion celebrated the news with many writing letters of congratulations and expressing admiration for her decision to prioritize her family. Media outlets, too, painted this shift as a graceful evolution, highlighting Powell's ability to balance fame with personal fulfillment. Her later film appearances were fewer but still memorable. In Sensations of 1945, she performed a visually stunning dance routine inside a giant pinball machine. While the film itself received mixed reviews, audiences were mesmerized by Powell's ability to command attention, even in smaller roles. Critics noted that her performance remained a standout, describing her as a star who shines regardless of the material. In 1950, she appeared briefly in Duchess of Idaho, marking her final film performance. By then, her focus had shifted fully to raising her son. a role she embraced with the same dedication that had defined her career. Fans who had grown up watching Powell's breathtaking routines expressed a mixture of sadness and respect for her decision to step away from the spotlight. Many hoped for her return, with fan clubs continuing to celebrate her legacy and organizing events in her honor. Magazine profiles and retrospectives often revisited her groundbreaking work, reminding readers of the joy and inspiration she had brought to audiences worldwide. Eleanor Powell's personal life took a dramatic turn in 1959 with her much-publicized divorce from actor Glenn Ford. Their marriage had long been a favorite topic of Hollywood tabloids, with fans enchanted by the union of two glamorous stars. However, the cracks in their relationship became impossible to ignore, and the announcement of their separation dominated headlines. The divorce was seen as a bold move for Powell, who had spent years away from the spotlight, focusing on family and raising her son, Peter Ford. But Powell was not one to be overshadowed by personal struggles. Encouraged by Peter, who deeply admired her strength and talent, she decided to step back into the spotlight in a way no one expected. Reinventing herself as a nightclub performer, Powell returned to the stage, bringing with her the same dynamic energy and unmatched skill that had once made her the Queen of Tap. Fans were ecstatic to see her perform live, with many expressing their excitement in letters and public forums. "She's back, and she's better than ever," one fan wrote, echoing the sentiments of audiences who packed venues to witness her revival. Her nightclub performances became the talk of the entertainment world. Critics marveled at her ability to deliver intricate, high-energy routines well into her 40s, a feat that seemed almost superhuman. One prominent reviewer called her an unstoppable force of talent and grace, while another described her as a living legend who continues to defy expectations. Media outlets featured glowing profiles, detailing her journey of reinvention and celebrating her triumphant return. Powell's story of resilience and creativity resonated deeply with fans, particularly women, who saw her as a symbol of strength and independence during a time when societal expectations often limited such narratives. The nightclub stage also allowed Powell to connect with audiences in a way that felt more personal than her Hollywood films. Her live performances carried an intimacy that made fans feel like they were part of a shared moment, a unique experience crafted just for them. The energy in the room was palpable, as Powell's signature tapping electrified the crowd, earning standing ovations night after night. Some venues reported record-breaking ticket sales, with lines forming around the block as fans clamored for a chance to see their idol in person. Powell's nightclub career wasn't just a nostalgic comeback. It was a reinvention that showcased her enduring relevance in an ever-changing entertainment landscape. The media celebrated her as a beacon of perseverance, running headlines like Eleanor Powell, the comeback queen, and Hollywood's dancing star shines again. Fans of all ages, from those who had adored her in the 1930s to a new generation discovering her brilliance for the first time, were captivated by her artistry and determination. Even as she performed well into the 1960s, Powell never lost the athleticism and charm that had made her a star. Fans often remarked on how she seemed ageless, her movements as precise and energetic as they had been decades earlier. For many, watching her perform was like stepping back in time to the golden age of Hollywood, a reminder of an era defined by elegance, talent, and showmanship. In the 1950s, Eleanor Powell embarked on a new and profoundly personal chapter in her life, one that showcased her ability to inspire beyond the realm of dance and film. She became a minister of the Unity Church, channeling her natural charisma and deep spirituality into a role that allowed her to connect with people on an emotional and spiritual level. This transition surprised many of her fans, but it also inspired admiration and respect. For a woman who had dazzled audiences with her extraordinary dance routines, this new path proved she was just as captivating with her words and message of hope. As part of her ministry, Powell began hosting The Faith of Our Children, a Sunday morning television program designed to uplift families and nurture faith. The show was an immediate hit, praised for its warmth and sincerity. Fans who had admired her elegance and energy on screen were now drawn to her heartfelt insights and compassionate guidance. Letters poured in from viewers expressing gratitude for the show's uplifting message. One fan wrote, "Eleanor Powell taught me to believe in myself, not just through her dancing, but through her faith and kindness." Media outlets couldn't get enough of this reinvention. Magazine articles and TV interviews frequently highlighted her unique journey, with headlines like "From Tap Queen to Spiritual Guide" and "Eleanor Powell's Next Act, Inspiring the World." The public was captivated by her ability to transition from Hollywood royalty to a role that was deeply grounded in service and connection. Despite her focus on ministry, Powell never completely stepped away from the entertainment world. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, she delighted fans by making guest appearances on hugely popular shows like The Ed Sullivan Show and The Hollywood Palace. Each time she graced the stage, it was as if time had stood still. Her dazzling footwork and radiant presence reminded audiences of why she had been one of Hollywood's brightest stars. These appearances often reignited discussions in the media about her legacy, with critics and fans alike calling for her to return to the stage more regularly. Perhaps the most memorable moment of her later years came in 1981, when she made her final public appearance at the American Film Institute tribute to Fred Astaire. The event brought together legends of Hollywood's golden age to honor Astaire, but when Powell stepped onto the stage, the crowd erupted in a thunderous standing ovation. Fans and fellow performers alike were moved to tears, recognizing the magnitude of her contributions to the world of dance and entertainment. "She hasn't missed a beat," one critic observed, noting how effortlessly Powell reclaimed the spotlight in that single moment. The media hailed her appearance as a reminder of her iconic status, with one headline proclaiming, "Eleanor Powell steals the show." Fans flooded social media and fan clubs with tributes, sharing memories of her career and expressing their gratitude for her lasting influence. For those who had followed her journey from the start, it was a bittersweet farewell, but one that perfectly encapsulated her brilliance and grace. Eleanor Powell passed away on February 11, 1982, at the age of 69, after a battle with ovarian cancer. Her death marked the end of an extraordinary chapter in Hollywood's history, as the world lost one of its most dazzling stars. News of her passing sent waves of sadness through the entertainment industry and among her devoted fans. Powell was more than just a performer. She was a pioneer, a symbol of grace, and a trailblazer whose impact on dance and film remains unmatched. Tributes poured in from every corner of the world. Leading newspapers and magazines ran heartfelt obituaries, celebrating her legacy as Hollywood's Queen of Tap. One headline read, "Eleanor Powell, the star who danced into our hearts," while another declared, "A light from Hollywood's golden age has dimmed." Fans took to letters, radio call-ins, and early fan forums to express their grief. Many spoke about how Powell's electrifying performances had brightened their lives, with one admirer writing, "She didn't just dance, she made the world feel alive." In Hollywood, her peers and protégés reflected on the profound influence she had on their lives and careers. Fred Astaire, her legendary dance partner from Broadway Melody of 1940, remembered her as an artist with boundless energy and unmatched precision, adding, "The world has lost a true icon." Meanwhile, younger dancers and choreographers cited her as their inspiration, praising her innovative routines that blended athleticism with artistry. Dance schools across the country held special performances to honor her memory, showcasing routines inspired by her groundbreaking techniques. The media paid homage with television retrospectives revisiting her most iconic film moments, including her unforgettable duet with Astaire to Cole Porter's Begin the Begin. Documentaries and talk shows highlighted her journey from a young Broadway sensation to one of MGM's brightest stars. Clips of her intricate tap routines flooded the airwaves, reminding audiences of her unparalleled talent and why she was regarded as a pioneer in her field. Fans also flocked to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, where Powell was laid to rest in the Cathedral Mausoleum. Her niche quickly became a shrine adorned with flowers, handwritten notes, and even tap shoes left by aspiring dancers. For many, visiting her resting place was a way to pay tribute to a performer who had inspired them, not just with her skill, but with her unwavering dedication to her craft. Even after her passing, Powell's influence continued to grow. Modern dancers and choreographers study her routines, marveling at the precision and creativity she brought to each performance. Her films remain a staple in dance history courses, and her story continues to inspire countless artists who see her as proof that passion and perseverance can break boundaries. Social media platforms and online forums are filled with clips of her performances, often shared with captions like, "The greatest to ever do it." Modern dancers continue to study her routines, inspired by her unparalleled precision and creativity. Eleanor Powell's death may have been the end of her life, but it was far from the end of her legacy. She remains a shining example of what it means to push artistic limits and connect with audiences on a profound level. Her contributions to Hollywood's golden age are immortal, ensuring that her taps will echo in the hearts of fans for generations to come. Eleanor Powell's journey was nothing short of remarkable. From her iconic tap sequences that redefined the genre to her enduring legacy as one of Hollywood's greatest dancers, she left an indelible mark on the world of entertainment. Yet her story is also a reminder of the trials that often accompany fame. Though she passed away far too soon, her spirit lives on through her work, inspiring dancers and performers to this day. Thank you for joining us as we celebrated the life and legacy of Eleanor Powell. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories of Hollywood legends. See you next time.